ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
Shriman Venkatanathāryaha Kavitārkikakesari Vedantacharya Varyo me Sannidattam Sada Hridi Ramanujadaya Patram Jnanavairagyabhushanam Srimad Venkatanathāryam Vande Vedantadeshikam Shironrutupol Tiruvenkatamudayan Arunrachonna Palamoriul Oronrotane Yamayato Taranil Valvarka Vanira Pomalavum Valva.
So we start today with page 108, Rahasya Ratnavali. So we have the title shows that it's a garland of gems, and so we already discussed 30 points almost in each secret, and therefore these 30 gems are strung in a garland, and therefore it's called Rahasya Ratnavali. That's all. So Swami Vedanta Deshika shows the description of each point in all the 30 sentences of the secret. So ஒன்றே புகழென்று உணர்ந்தவர் காட்டத் திருவருளால் அன்றே அடைக்கலங்கொண்ட நம்மத்திகிரி திருமால் இன்றே இசையின் இணையடி சேர்ப்பர் இனிப்பிறவோம் நன்றே வருவதெல்லாம் நமக்கு பரமொன்றிலது. Now the Tamil Prabandham of Swami Vedanta Deshika tells you the ancient idea that he has affinity towards, lot of affinity towards the native place. He was born in Tupul. The village itself is a very holy place with holy grass, Tupul. And therefore, for any function, for our religious function at home or outside, we need what we call the darba grass, otherwise called Vishwamitram also, and also Kusha, Kusha. And therefore, maybe these, what I just guess is, these grasses are in plenty available in the village where he was born. Rather, we say incarnate, because he is just like any divinity. So he says Attigiri Tirumal. So Attigiri Tirumal is Lord Varadaraja, otherwise called Pranatartihara. So Atti meaning Hasti, that is the Yane, the elephant. So Giri mountain, so it's called the elephant mountain. Mountain looks like an elephant, that's all. It's not a question of mountain having a lot of elephants living there. So the generally mountain is in the same color of the elephant, or elephant is in the same color of the mountain, especially when the clouds hide the sunlight from falling on the mountain. So even though there are so many what you call vegetation, flora, namely rich foliage of many trees, the mountain doesn't look green, it looks gray. So that looks like elephant. So Attigiri Tirumal is Varadaraja. So he prostrated always toward the feet of divine feet of Varadaraja. So from the very birth onwards, he was a prodigy in childhood, and therefore his uncle guided him, and therefore uncle also guided him. He prostrated, that is rather, he made a total surrender at the feet of divine feet of Lord Varadaraja of Kanchipuram. And all his guides, the previous preceptors like Nathamuni, Amanacharya, and Ramanujacharya, and also his immediate preceptors, and he had also the blessing of Nadadur Ammal. They are called here is Unarndavar Katta. Unarndavar. All the preceptors understood the main principle that there is only one succor, only one refuge, one shelter, one resort, one destination, one goal, one aim, single aim. That is Lord Sriman Narayana. So, Vandre Puhal Endru. There is no other way to go to this goal. So, Katta, when they showed the path, they showed the way. Thiruvarulal, because of the auspicious blessings of the Lord, Indre Ishain Inayadi Sherpar Inipiravom. So we will also, as preceptors, lead others to the divine feet. Inayadi, the pair of feet. Sherpar, the teachers, preceptors will take the individual souls to the divine feet. How? Indre, today itself, now itself. Ishain, if they like, if they like. If the surrender is like, then preceptors will take them even just now. So what is the meaning is, we also saw in Tiruppavi, Andal's Goda Devi's golden words, namely, Nirada Podumino. In the first itself, Margaret Tingal, Madinendananala, Nirada Podumino, Podumin. If you want to come, come. What is the purpose of traveling with Goda Devi? Namely, enjoying the qualities, auspicious qualities, endless number of auspicious qualities of Sriman Narayana, and therefore, taking bath in the river is a parallel to enjoying the qualities of the Lord. That is what we call immersing oneself into the waters of the qualities of the Lord is called taking bath. So, Indre Ishain, if you want it today, then Inayadi Sherpa. They will take you to the divine feet. Inipiravom. Therefore, no more birth. So, no cycle of birth and death. In future, Nandre Varuvadellam. Everything will be good in future. Namakku Paramandriladi. So, there is no other highest God other than Lord Varadaraja. So, Namakku Param, Paras, Param, the highest, Ondru, just one. And no other God is available for us. Ilade. So we already saw the meaning. So we go to the next paragraph. First point out of the 30, 1 by 30. So Oru Jeevanukku Oru Jeevan Tanjam Allan. We need not take resort to another individual soul, because another individual soul also is incapable of carrying out his task, his own task. Therefore, he also has Karpanyam, Akinchanyam, and therefore he is also helpless. So we need not approach another individual soul. So that is first point. Then Srimanana Narayanan 2.2. Srimanana Narayanan Urvane Sarva Jeevaralakkum Tanjam. As the Tamil song just now we read pointed out that there is only one highest being, and he is the shelter, refuge for all of us, all these individual souls. We are now talking of now Chetanam, but nevertheless we also can include Achetanam also. Then, so 3. இஜ்ஜீவன் அனாதிகாலம் அனுபவிக்க பெறாத ஸ்ரீயப்பதியை பெருகைக்கு ஹேத்துவான உபாயத்தை ரகசியத்திரய முகத்தாலே உபதேசித்து அவ்வழியாலே ஆச்சாரியன் இவனுக்கு தஞ்சமாகிறான். So it is said that we do not know, but it is said that we have gone through a lot of births in different forms. May not be in the same human form, or maybe in the same human form also. So the time was also beginningless, and the time was also long. The duration is was very long till we reach the Lord. Therefore, because we were not able to reach the Lord, so the path shown by the preceptors is only the Lord Himself. So Hetuvana Upayate. So how did we know through the preceptors? Because Rahasya Traya Mukhattale. With the help of understanding the 3 secrets, namely the 8 syllable spell, Ashtakshara mantra, Dvaya mantra, 2 sentence spell, and Charama shloka. And also you can say Rahasya Trayam, you can also say Chetanam, Achetanam, and Ishvara. And we say Tattva, Hita, Purushartha. You can give these 3 also. So all this, generally we say Ragasyam meaning, secret meaning the mantras, spells, the hymns. They are like Vedic hymns. So these 3. Starting from the lowest order is, last one, Charama Shloka, reverse order. Charama Shloka of Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman, then you have Sriman Narayana, Dvayam, and then Ashtakshara, Namo Narayana. So with this course, with this path shown, then so who showed us the path? The preceptor, Acharya. Therefore, ivanukku Tanjamaharan. So instead of directly going to the Lord, so we have an intermediary refuge, namely Acharya, and one can even consider him as the final resort, because Acharya, though in flesh and blood looks like us, ordinary soul, but as an Acharya, he is here. He should be considered as God. He must be considered with Shuddha Sattva form, then Aprakrita Tirumeni, then you have what you call supernatural form. He is our God, and he is our Saka. He is our refuge. No, 4. So Sarvaswaminiyai, Sarveshwaranuக்கு சேஷபூதையாய், சகதர்மச்சாரிணியான பெரிய பிராட்டியார் இத்தலையில் வாத்சல்ய அதிசயத்தாலும் அத்தலையில் வால்லபிய அதிசயத்தாலும் புருஷாகாரமாய்க் கொண்டு இஜ்ஜீவர்களுக்கு தஞ்சமாகிறான். So while we approach the Lord Sriman Narayana through the preceptor, then we understand he is not a single entity, but he is a couple. He is a divine couple. And associated with him is Periya Piratiyar, meaning the bigger goddess. Just like we say big God, great God. So she is also a great goddess, Periya Piratiyar. Great goddess, we always remember the goddess of fortune, wealth, prosperity, and so on. So she is always with him, always associated with him. So Sakadharmacharini. In all righteous acts, she follows him. Not only that, doesn't mean that Lord has got unrighteous acts also. So he is righteous, always righteous, and she is also always righteous. That is just. So justice is always followed. No impartiality only, no partiality, and so on. So here, keeping her as now as little more important. Why? Because she is in the form of what we call female character. And female character is supposed to have more affection towards the children. So Vatsalya Atishayatalum. It's a wonderful filial affection shown by the mother to the children. And also Vallabhya Atishayatalum. So we used to say that she gives him instruction. She modifies his actions. She rather reduces this punishment thought of by the Lord to the individual soul. So she reduces, she alleviates the sufferings of the individual souls by her, what we call love towards the Lord. Vallabhyati Shetan. Vallabha, both are Vallabha in the sense she is Vallabha, he is Vallabha. Because he is dear to him, she is dear to him, and he is dear to her. So that is what you call love between the couple. So because of the prema atishayam, you can say. So prema atishayam, that is called vallabhya atishayam. So toward the children, mother has affection. Toward the Lord, she has love. And therefore, we take her guidance, Purushakaramai Kundu. She is the recommending authority. And therefore, Ijivaralukku Tanjamaharan. So we keep in forefront Goddess Mahalakshmi and then approach Lord. Innamadat Tirumahal Endru Ivarai Munnittu. Therefore, we first pray to Goddess also and then ask her to beseech her, request her, pray to her to recommend our case. And therefore, Lord is easily accessible, more easily accessible. So why should we approach Goddess? The question is answered in the point 5. இவளை புருஷாகாரமாக்க வேண்டுகிறது ஈஸ்வரன் தண்டதரன் ஆகையாலே. Because it looks like, we don't say the Lord is a very cruel person. The Lord looks like a tyrant, a strict ruler. He wants to give punishment to the mistakes, for the mistakes done by us. He never wants to release us from the hell, in the sense suffering, because he thinks that we deserve punishment for the errors committed, and therefore he is Tikshna Dandadharaha. I am adding one more. So Dandadharaha, he is keeping a pole in the hand, staff in the hand, that the staff should never be partial. It should punish the wicked. It should punish the guilty. The guilty cannot go unpunished. That is the rule. The innocent should not be punished. That is also another rule. The wicked should be punished. That is the rule. So he wants to follow the rules. And by recommending authority, namely Goddess, he relaxes the rules. He gives concession to the rules. He gives some escapism to the rules. And therefore, then, why did we get punished? Or why do we get punished? So, sixth point, is danda karanam. Why do we need punishment? Because anadiyana, beginningless, we are disobeying the Lord. Ajna atilanghanam. Langhanam is crossing. Atilanghanam is overcrossing. Completely disobeying. Ajna, the orders, instructions. Where are the instructions? In scriptures, in smritis, in Puranas, in itihasas, in Dharma Shastras. We have a lot of rules, so we always transgress the rules. Because of the transgression of the rules, we deserve punishment. Then, so when the Lord is very cruel, then what should we do? So 7, ipidi aparadha anurupamaha. Almost Lord looks like an incarnation of Punisher. He looks like Yamadharma Raja. He looks like what do you call the god of nemesis, the god of cruelty, the strict god. So Dandadharanai Porvira, he is a punishment giving man. Then Sharanyanuடைய, since he is to be resorted to, he is the only person fittest to be resorted to. Vashikaranangalil, while getting attracted towards the Lord, Sharanya, what is important? Pradhanam. Pradhanam is important. So our attitude is very important. Namely, Sarva Akinchana Adhikaramana Atma Rakshabhara Samarpanam. So we must feel that we have no right to do anything. So Sarva Akinchana. In everything we have got helplessness. So we have only right to helplessness, nothing else. We cannot help ourselves. And therefore, what do? We want to protect ourselves, Raksha. So we want to protect ourselves, our soul, say, Jivatma. Then we want to maintain the protection, Bhara, keep up the protection. Both are to be submitted to. So let us not feel that we will protect ourselves and we will carry out our actions and so on. So, Satvika Tyag. Then 8th, so Saparikaramaha Sakrit Kartavyam. So how do we make total surrender? We make total surrender only once. Sakrit Kartavyam. Sakrit only once. Kartavyam to be done. How? Saparikaram. Along with our family, you can say, or at least the body. So the body, the inert body, the achetanam, always associated with the individual soul, is to be submitted, meaning actions, desires, attitudes, feelings. Then if you want, you can join with others, family in the family. Then Saparikaramah. Again, Saparikaram also means we follow all the limbs of the total surrender, namely Karpanyam Akinchanyam, number 1. Number 2, Pratikulya Varjanam. Number 3, Anukulya Sankalpaha. Number 4, Goptrutva Varanam. Number 5, Rakshishyati iti Vishwasaha. The 6th one is total surrender. So it is to be done only once. Then, while we follow this procedure, namely total surrender, 9th point is Samarpanatai. 7th point said Samarpanam, submission. So submitting ourselves to be followed, strictly followed, in the heart of hearts. Believe it. Don't disbelieve. Don't keep unfaithful thought. So faithfully, sincerely, one must submit. Then Tanakaha Acharyarigal Anushtikam. There are 2 methods also. We can request the preceptor to surrender to the Lord for our sake. And it's called Acharya Nishtha, otherwise called Ukti Nishtha. In Srimad Andavan Sampradaya, they follow this. So we submit ourselves to the preceptor, immediate preceptor, the human preceptor. And then in turn, he submits us to the Lord. So Tanakaha Acharyadigal Anushtikava. It seems Swami Vedanta Deshika supports both views, namely whether it is, I think you have in Kanchipuram, maybe in his own times also, there were Tatacharyas, what you call Shatamashna Gotra people, who had Swayamacharya Purushas. In their own family, there were so many qualified preceptors, and they didn't approach any other Acharya. One of the family members himself will be the Acharya for Samashrayanam and Bharanyasa. And therefore, I think in Tengalai Sampradaya, also in Kanchipuram, they must have Samashrayanam in their own family by one of their own family members. So Swayamacharya Purushas. And therefore, so Acharya Adigal Anushtikamavam. So you have different tradition also in Ahobilamatham, Srimadandavan, and you have so many other matas also. Mats from, so they follow their own principles. There you have Acharya Nishtha and Ukti Nishtha. And Swanishtha also can be there, because if you have if you are a Swacharya Purusha, then Swayamacharya Purusha, then straight away one can go to approach God. So we go to 10. So இதற்கு கோரின பலத்தை பற்ற புனப்பிரபத்தி முதலான கர்த்தவிய சேஷம் இல்லை. Supposing we need some other aim in order to fulfill our desires, already we have submitted only one surrender. We have totally made one surrender. And supposing, in order to get what we call the fruit of service to the Lord, total surrender results in service, our service to the Lord. So in order to reach the fruit, in order to get the fruit in hand, that is service mindedness, then we need not do again surrender, because only once is allowed. Punapprapatti முதலான கர்த்தவிய சேஷம் இல்லை. There's no duty remaining shesham in order to do second time total surrender. Of course, we have another concept which is called prayaschitta prapatti, for the sins committed after the single prapatti we did. If unknowingly we have done some blunders, then you have prayaschitta prapatti recommended by some sampradaya. It is not brought out here. Point number 11. இப்படி கிருதகிருத்தியனான பிரபன்னனுக்கு, since the total surrenderee has completed his duty called total surrender, kritakrityan, his duty is over, then varna ashramadi dharmangal, then following his own what we call chaturvarnyam maya srishtam, as said in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So according to varnas and according to ashramas, brahmacharyam, garhastyam, vanaprastham and sannyasam. So in all these 4 ashramas, all the duties enjoined in these 2 categories. And then if we do service as per these 2 categories, they are all special services, kainkarya visheshangal, extraordinary services. And that we can have some freedom there. Swatantra, some independence is there. A limited independence is there. Then ajna, according to the order given by the scriptures. then Siddhangala. So we can have some freedom to follow the service according to the two categories of people, namely Varna and Ashram. Then, why should we follow these instructions from the scriptures? The answer is given in 12. Ivanukku, namely the individual soul, Jivatma, ஆக்ஞா அனுக்ஞா சித்தங்களான கைங்கரியங்கள் எல்லாம் ஸ்வயம் பிரயோஜனங்கள். So, why should we do our duty according to Varna and Ashrama? It is all for the sake of doing it. That's all. For the sake of doing it. That's all. I repeat. It is not for some other advantage. Suppose the individual soul makes a better service, does a better service, or engages himself in more time than some other individual soul, then all goes to the service. It is for the sake of service. And what is that? How do we get this opportunity to serve? By Ajna instructions. By following instruction, by understanding the scriptures, we understand more. Because I have a little knowledge of the language of the scriptures and also the scriptures, then we can take the instructions from the anugnya. Anugnya meaning further instructions from the preceptors. Then we will be successful in our doing service. But again, what is the result of our service? Service, that's all. Service is a result of service. Swayam prayojananga. Then, so after this first, only one total surrender, the 13th point comes in. So, karana akarana ரூபங்களான அபச்சாரங்கள் புகுந்தாலும் பிரபன்னனுக்கு நரகாதிகள் இல்லை. Acharyas like Vedanta Deshika, Ramanujacharya, Yamunacharya, Nathamuni, and all other preceptors till today have come to the conclusion that the idea is right, namely, they have some revelation, they had some intuition, they had some inspiration to say this idea, namely, we don't face suffering in hell. We don't face suffering in hell even when some small, if you say, I can say only small. I cannot say great blunder is committed. A small mistake is done. So, apacharangal puhundalum. Suppose we are forced to do some mistakes. Karana akarananga rupangalan. Meaning, while we do, while we don't do. So, what we do is what is enjoined in scriptures. What we don't try to do, what we don't do is what is not to be done. But still, in spite of our carefulness, in spite of our faith, in spite of our belief, supposing some incidental, you can say accidental also, unknowingly some creeps in, some blunders creep in, then so we don't need to face the hell. Prapannanukku, a surrendery will not face hell. Narakadigal illai. So not only that, so the cycle of birth and death is also over, and then there is no suffering in this world also. Not only in the hell, if we can consider as hell as a separate world, and then we don't have the suffering in this world. One more point can be also added. So we don't have enjoyment of Swarga also. If you say no suffering is faced, then no enjoyment, what you call materialistic enjoyment, is also not to be relished. So no enjoyment of heaven, no suffering in hell. Then 14. So while we are in a kingdom, we have to follow the prince also. Not only the king, follow the rules of the king, that is government, namely, and also the Raja Kumaran. Now we can say president of the country as the king, and prime minister of the country can be Raja Kumaran. Prince. Sometimes in, for example, UK, and maybe princess. The queen is the head. Princess will be the next head, deputy head. So ராஜகுமாரனுக்கும் அவதானம் பண்ணி நடக்க வேண்டுமா போல. While we follow our procedures, we must be very careful. அவதானம் பண்ணி நடக்க வேண்டுமா போல. லகு பிரத்யவாயமும். So there will be small impediment. There may be small impediment. While we carefully walk through the procedure. That means when we follow the procedure so carefully, in spite of our carefulness, suppose some small trouble occurs, what should you do? So this our little deviation, our little transgression also should be avoided. Apacharangal, the apacharangal meant by the point number 13, please remember that. So apacharangal, the blunders that unknowingly come to us because of our some little carelessness. Dura pariharaniyangal, they should be completely avoided. So meaning too much carefulness must be followed. It is insisted that we must be highly careful. In order to avoid even a small trouble while following the government rule is the scriptural rule. Namely, so we have to be very, very careful. So 15. பிரபத்திக்கு கோரின பலத்துக்கு ஒன்றாலும் பிரதிபந்தம் இல்லை. So the aim of doing total surrender, prapatiki koidina phalam, the aim of doing the total surrender is only for service, kainkaryam, seva. So there is nothing which will stop us. Pratibandham illai. So there will be no obstacle to such a service. Because of the aim is only service for the total surrender. Then buddhi purva apacharangal puhundal. Suppose knowingly we do some mistakes. Buddhi purva, intellectually understanding that we have done something, what you call wantonly, puhundalum. Prayaschitta vishesham, adhikari vishesha niyatam. So there is a remedial action, knowingly, yes. Buddhi purva is knowingly, right? So prayaschitta vishesham is remedial action. So remedial action that we do is also suggested in scriptures. The do's are prescribed in scriptures, the don'ts are prescribed in scriptures. Then you have prayashchittam also, remedial action, rectifying act, atonement, expiation act, expiatory act, also are mentioned in scriptures. And therefore, adhikari vishesha niyatam, it is according to the qualification that we have. So adhikari is a qualified person. So vishesha, a specially qualified person. Niyatam, it is under the control of. That means, now example I'm just giving because of the recent experience. So achidram is a portion, as you have heard, you might have heard that achidram is a portion in Krishna Yajurveda Taittiriya Aranyakam. And therefore, So it says there are 16 anuvakas. So each anuvaka becomes what we call recitation of each anuvaka becomes what we call prayaschitta vishesham for many yagas conduct. So even though at present practically if you talk, so we have not done, most of us have not done any yajnam, but still, if at all we do yajnam, for example, Ashwamedha portion is recited by us. I am yet to learn that. So Ashwamedha is, when we recite, it is equivalent to performance of the yaga. So recitation of scriptures, because it is impossible today practically that in this Kali Yuga, there are so many restrictions, natural restrictions, and personally imposed restrictions. Our actually helplessness. That means our helplessness, that we are not able to perform sacrifice. Then, so we recite scriptures. So by recitation of scriptures, we are supposed to have performed some yaga. So Ashwamedha, there are people who say that Ashwamedha is prohibited in Kali Yuga. It is a banned sacrifice. So also I think Agnishtoma yaga. With the phalam, fruit of getting into heaven, Agnishtoma yaga is banned in Kali Yuga. We don't know. I mean, some people say. So while we are not able to perform this Ashwamedha and in the right form, Agnishtoma Yoga, then you have recitation of scriptures is the only possible means to have what you call a resemblance of performance of the yoga. And therefore, in order to expiate the sins committed during even this recitation, when we make spelling mistakes, when we make accent mistakes, swara, varna, vidhi, vityasa, lopa. So when we do all these kinds of mistake, so we say in the end of Sahasranama, we say, we made a mistake in a word, we made a mistake in a syllable, we made a mistake in giving extra syllable, we made a mistake in reducing a syllable, vowel or consonant, even a vowel or consonant in the syllable. We missed a vowel, we added a vowel, we missed a consonant, we added a consonant. So then we have left out a quarter of the verse, pada. So we say yadakshara pada bhrashtam. We left out the word, we missed the word. Then matra, we pronounced long vowel as short vowel as long vowel, matra. So we did not say the heavy syllable like heavy syllable. We said it like light syllable, laghu aksharam instead of guru aksharam. So we made a pronunciation mistake in making a laghu syllable as heavy syllable. So pada padaksharani. Matra hinantyadvavet satsarvam kshamyatam deva narayana namostute. Visarga, so we left out visarga. It's what we call the two dots, one over the other, visarga. So again, we have another one, dot, what we call anuswara, the dot over a letter. So visarga bindu. Bindu is the dot over the letter, bindu. Visarga bindu matrani. Again, we pronounced long vowel as short, short vowel as long. Guru syllable is a light syllable, light syllable and light syllable as guru, and so on. All these mistakes are knowingly done. So what do we do? As expiatory act, achidram is recited. The point here in 13, 14, 15 and so on, even that must not be done. The situation of the Prayashchitta portion also should be very carefully recited, should be done. So recitation should be without any mistake in accent, all these mistakes, pronunciation mistakes. So இப்படி ஸோ பிராயஷ்சித்தத்திலே மூட்டுகிறதும் கঠিன பிரகிருதிகளுக்கு கசை காட்டுவாரை போல அவன் பண்ணுகிற சிக்ஷைகளும் எல்லாம் சரண்ய பிரசாத பலம். So if there are people hard, what you call hard nut to crack. So kachina prakritikal is hard nut to crack. So while we do this expiatory act, suppose again we do the mistakes, same mistakes again or new mistakes every now and then there is a police like what you call controller like watchman who shows a whip in the hand. Kashai kattuare pole. Kashai is whip. So he lifts the whip. Then immediately we realize that we have committed a mistake and we rectify the mistake. Then he just waves the whip and he gives a light hit, light touch of the whip. Avan pannugira shikshayalu. I tell you light. Let him not give very deep scar by hitting us hard. Let him not hit us hard. So Sharanya Prasada Phalam. If he just waves his whip, moves his whip and does not give us hard punishment, then that will be a blessing. Sharanya Prasada Phalam. So Ingu Irunda Kalam. So the life that we led or lead here in this world, Ingu Irunda Kalam, 18th point. Dharma Anubandhiyana Bhogatilum, Bhoga Buddhiyale Pravanyam Prandadagil. Now, so while we try to enjoy this world's pleasures, if it is according to the righteousness advised by the scriptures, that is according to the rules, if it is within the framework of rules, that means within the limit, then dharma anubandhiyana bhogatil, then bhoga buddhiyale, since we are used to the enjoyment, pleasure, so we have some aim to enjoy, then pravanyam pirandadahi. Suppose we become expert in enjoying. We know how to enjoy better than others, say, comparatively. Or some people are able to enjoy life better than others, all others. So pravanyam means expertise. So expertise, if you develop expertise in enjoying the world, then go to the next page, please. அதிகார அனுரூபமான கைங்கரிய அமிர்த ரசத்திற்கு தண்ணீர் துரும்பு. So it should be according to our qualification. Adhikara anurupamana. So enjoying, again, please underline the word enjoying. So how do we enjoy? We feel, we must feel that he should enjoy. That's all. So that is our enjoyment. We cannot call our enjoyment. That is feeling that he is enjoying. So now we become expert in making Lord feel happy. Then according to our right, adhikara anurupamana, kainkarya amrita rasatirku. So while suppose we start relishing our own service, that is satisfaction in doing our service. Kainkarya amrita rasatirku, the immortal liquid, namely ambrosia. Suppose we find nectar that is pleasure in doing service, that will be what we call Tannir Turumbu. In the clear water, it looks like a speck of dust. It is like a speck of what we call unnecessary object. The meaning that we are not supposed to feel the enjoyment. We have to avoid the feeling of enjoyment. So here we stop because 12 or more. And again, we have to stop at a particular good number, 18. 18 is a good number because 9 is an excellent number, wonderful number in mathematics. 18 is very important. So 18 Parvas of Mahabharata, chapters, 18 days of war, 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. 18th star is called Jeshtha, Kettai, where Ranganatha will have anointment, Tirumad Janam. And 18th time, Tirukoshtiyur Nambi taught Sri Ramanujacharya. 18th Tirupavai, Undu Madagalitran, is the most important Tirupavai which got Ramanujacharya the title Tirupavai Jiya. And the name of Mahabharata is victory in Sanskrit. Jaya. All of us know Jaya. Jayam, Jayam, Jayaha. Not Jayam, Jayaha. Jaya. Leave out the Visarga here. Jaya. Jaya is 8. Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Nga, 5. Cha, Cha, Ja, 3. 5 plus 3, 8. Jam is 8. Ya is 1. Yara, Lava. In the series of the row Yara, Lava, Ya is 1. So 81. Jaya is 81. And in Sanskrit, we always reverse the number. Yes. So Jaya means 18. 18 Akshohinis, army divisions. 11 for Duryodhana, 7 for Arjuna. Total 18. So Ashtadasha Ragasyangal, 18 secrets according to the Tennacharya Sampradaya. So Ashtadasha Ragasyangal. So I got so many importance for the number 18.
Ramanujadaya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanacharyam Vande Vedanta Deshikam Kavita Kikasimhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha Vadidviva Shirobhanga Panchanana Parakramaha Shriman Venkatanatarya Stiram Vijayatam Bhuvi Chironratupul Tiruvenkatamudayan Poronrachonna Palamariul Orunratane Yamayato Taranil Valvaraka Vanirappo Malavam Balva
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. Ratnavali